You can see the slight blur of the F-117 because it's moving so damn fast. But the UFO by itself, it must be just going really slow or just at one
The
still.
angle is interesting. The angle of the UFO is interesting. It's just like it flying in this kind of angle because
You know,
the
it's funny
picture.
that you say that.
Yeah,
It's funny that you said that. It's almost kind of it's got its like attention
yeah,
at the UFO all the time. It's kind of funny that you said that because during the latest reports with the Tic Tac UFO, this guy who the first jet guy or the pilot who first went and encountered it,
yeah.
trying to get closer to it. He said when he first getting closer to it, he said that the Tic Tac actually went and like it pointed itself at him. Just saw that he's coming. He's like, and kind of kept an eye on him the whole time while it's moving. You know what I'm saying?
Hello, friendos. Today we're once again looking into the world of UFO research, focusing on one of the most prolific figures in the field, Colonel Wendelle C. Stevens, who was a key player in the UFO community, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, the largest UFO photograph collection in the world.
In the world. And you've got some of his pictures, and we will look at them in a minute. Wendelle Stevens served as a pilot in the US Air Force from 41 to 63. During his military career, he was involved in several classified projects, which piqued his interest in UFOs, this article says. After retiring, he dedicated himself to investigating UFO sightings and encounters, amassing one of the world's largest, as you stated already, collection of UFO photographs. That's awesome. And I did read that he was flying Arctic surveillance missions back then. That was a great read, man. When I did read the article during the Cold War, Stevens was assigned to aerial surveillance missions in the Arctic. This article said these missions involved flying over the polar regions to monitor Soviet activities, as this area was a key route between the US and the Soviet Union. Man, it's interesting.
Yeah,
Um, and I'm guessing it was some kind of dangerous mission too sometimes.
yeah. No, I can imagine. And yeah, again, he was just collecting records from other pilots who claimed who've seen other things in the sky that he just couldn't explain at the time too. So he was just starting to keep it. I don't know if he was asked to do this or if he was just starting his own personal investigation because he had his own two encounters when he was flying. And this is kind of like, this is where the Foo Fighters were kind of known to be, especially during World War II. A lot of activity was going on in the skies that even the Germans were seeing too at the time. Where I couldn't explain what the fuck that was. They thought it was like USA's new technology, or who knows. It's the same thing. They thought it was new technology of the Germans at the time. So yeah, he's just one of the guys like J. Allen Hynek. He just got himself really in depth within the government on investigating UFOs.
Yeah, he and J. Allen Hynek, they knew each other very well. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think they were friends, but they knew about
They
each.
they worked side by side a few times. I think Paula Harris told us that they were all together one time eating lunch and discussing UFOs. I think they met up a few times just to take compare notes and exchange photographs. I think that's what Wendell's really known for was trading photographs, like it was baseball cards or something like that, with other UFO investigators. And um, yeah,
So
I don't know if yeah.
while he was on these missions, he reported seeing strange, yeah, unidentified flying objects. Um,
Mhm.
he saw UFOs while he was on his missions over the Arctic. That's interesting. It's interesting that he saw these things over the Arctic. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
yes.
that's great. Um, he said he saw these things and the way they moved and looked, it didn't match any known aircraft or technology he knew at that time. So that was quite
Yes.
interesting. Yeah. And he was, if I remember right, he was somewhat involved in Project Blue Book 2. Um, Given his background, Stevens would have had access to sensitive information, including reports on unusual or phenomena, of course. Um,
Mhm.
but I don't think he was an active member of Project Blue Book, right? Um,
Right. I think he's more
yeah,
of an independent researcher.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, again, he was just going after the military. I think he was just scouring the world and hearing about other cases from other researchers and go knock at the door at these people or contactees or abductees. Yeah, especially with the ones who have a series of photographs of, what they're claiming to have. Um, Let's see. He even did a case here in Wisconsin, up in Colfax, Wisconsin. I actually have photographs of it's full circle. I like to think about it like that. Um, yeah, Colfax, Wisconsin, where there's a police officer named Mark Coltrane, and he was sitting in his car eating lunch and listening to the radio, and he noticed that his radio was crickling in and out. And he's like, "Whoa!" And he just happened to look into the sky, and he sees this metallic object zigzagging, just like, erratically, just back and forth like a ping pong ball towards his car. And he's like, "Whoa, what's that?" He had his camera that was sitting on the side of him. And he jumps out of his car and he tries to take a series of photographs. I have two of the original photographs of what he took. I think there was maybe six original. I think they got kind of spread out. Who knows? It could have been some of them that he traded to. I don't know why you wouldn't keep a complete series to themselves, but who knows? I mean, I think there was just at the time, the subject was so hot, and I think people were making other presentations and lectures where like they just needed something. I don't know how it all works, but again, I was lucky to have a few of these. um, yeah, again, he worked on other big cases. I guess Switzerland was the one he's really known for. I think working about 10 years on the Billy Meier case in Switzerland, back in 1978 or something like that. Because I think, yeah, Billy was starting to have his contacts in 75, or he had it a lot earlier than that, but it started having it more in Switzerland around that time.
Yeah. Steven
Yeah.
was in contact with Billy Meier, and I think wrote several books about Meyer's encounters. He
Mhm.
interviewed him and he looked at Meyer's evidence and he tried to make sense of all
Yes.
of all that for himself. And in the end, he was convinced by Meyer's story. He was
Mhm.
convinced he was the real deal, and he played a big role in making this case, yeah, pretty big around the
Yeah.
world. I would say he wrote, like I said, he wrote some books. Uh, um, he wrote a book called "Message from the Pleiades" in
Mhm.
1980, I think.
Mhm.
I haven't read it. I I don't know. I'm not too much into the Billy Meier case. We
Sure.
interviewed a few guys on the Billy Meier case. It's interesting though. It's very interesting,
Mhm.
but not
Yes.
too interesting for me.
Yeah.
I I don't know what to think about the Billy Meier UFO pictures. Of course,
Mhm.
I don't know. And
The only thing I like about the Billy Meier case is that well, in my opinion, I think it, the contact did happen in the beginning, and then
Mhm.
it got cut short. Where I think he got the fame, and he didn't want to lose the attention. Where he started making and creating fake photographs of, more kind of like visibly. It looks like a trash can lid. You know what I'm saying? But the older stuff that you look at Billy stuff, it's harder to fake because especially the ones that he took in India in 1965, I believe. And that was actually witnessed by uh, others, like hundreds of others. It's over this ashram in India. He stayed with this monk too and his family. They actually saw a lot of these crafts with Billy. But yeah, I think his first interactions were in India, and it's kind of coincidental too how much ancient astronauts in India there are. um, yeah. So again, Billy had one arm too when he was taking a lot of these photographs. So you really can't just hold a stick with a string and take a photograph with just
Yeah.
one arm.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you see some of the scenery of Switzerland, you really can't. And some of the camera angles that he's been taking them from, the vantage points, there's no way. This is too far away where you just couldn't get a string or a pole that long. You know what I'm saying? Or you can't start throwing frisbees in the air and hope to catch the right ones, especially when you see it going across the landscape so smoothly. Um,
So you're
yeah,
saying in the beginning it started with real UFOs and
yes.
real
And started with
contact.
real contacts, yes. And
Maybe contact went down or it stopped, so he faked some of this.
yes, because the fame got a cult like following that still continues today. And he still claims to have contacts with ETs. I don't know if it's physical contacts, but maybe telepathical. He sits in his room with a typewriter or on a computer with his one arm just going with the messages that he's getting from the player. Um, yeah, again, it's just, yeah,
I saw
it
some of the
sucks. It
footage.
just sucks, kind of.
Yeah,
Huh?
I saw some of the footage, the UFO footage, and I saw flying UFOs, alleged flying UFOs, and they were wiggling around. They were really wiggling like if they were
Yeah,
hanging from a string. It was pretty obvious, at least to me, that they were
sure.
wiggling around. I'm not saying I I don't know what to think about it, to be honest. Like you said, you see pictures that are awesome, really great pictures of UFOs.
Hmm.
Other ones and videos of some alleged UFOs are, I don't know.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, if you just go like throughout the Billy Meier case of like the oldest to the newest photographs, the newest ones just kind of looks so janky and just looks like little light bulbs and little like crystals slapped on a trash can. Yeah, it's just it's sad because it's just kind of like, I mean, if you just told the truth that they did leave, I think you still have a following. You know what I'm saying? Like you still have this crazy cult following. You could just left it as that. You don't have to keep saying, "Oh, I'm still having these contacts. I'm still trying to make sense of the world for you guys." But yeah, some of the contact reports are pretty impressive too, especially the older ones where he especially talks about certain planets having certain gases or certain facts, where it hasn't been published yet.
The predictions and stuff.
The predictions, right? Or even like the ones that you really, really don't like are like the dinosaur photographs where, it goes back in time.
Mhm.
There are different time periods, not just the dinosaurs, but like he even goes to, I think Christian was telling us a story where he does go back in time to like an old village back in the medieval times and gives some guy like lantern lights, like electrical lantern lights that like ran on batteries or something like that. And then he went back in the future to try to find it in the library where this guy, I guess he did find it in the library. This guy claimed that some stranger came to his home and gave him some magical lights that worked around, and they died off eventually, like, because the batteries ran low or something. But the old medieval guy couldn't, understand the technological part of it. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's all like magic in a sense. Stories like that. Did that really happen? And especially when you talk about going further back, prehistoric time, taking shots at dinosaurs, shit. Like
And they didn't look good. They didn't look good.
it didn't like that. Yeah, exactly, man.
And
At least I would be like in that motherfucker too, like, hey. I'd be pointing at this brontosaurus. You know what I'm saying?
I I'm trying to stay neutral when it comes to this case. I really don't know with all we know these days about UFOs, and we discuss where they come from. It could be interdimensional, multidimensional. It's not it's not as easy anymore as they're coming from interstellar space, from planet XY, I don't know, something.
Hmm.
It's much more deep. It
Sure,
could be very strange where these UFOs come from.
sure.
And I'm not talking about, like I said, I'm not talking about the interstellar space, and I'm not talking about a planet XYZ. Talking about a strange origin. Could be very strange. Um, and we've talked about the theory of distortion and all that stuff, and it could have something to do with our consciousness, and could be our consciousness could be very much involved in what we see and what we experience. So this is why I'm trying to stay neutral, at least a little bit, when it comes to the Billy Meier case and many other cases and things, because with all we not know, but you know what I mean, with all the theories now and all the ideas that sound great sometimes, everything is possible, man. Everything is possible.
Yeah,
But
it's true.
on the other hand, I look at these pictures, these dinosaur pictures. To me, they're fake, faker than fake. But who am I to judge? And I remember these pictures of these girls, these space girls, and the laser gun. So when was this? It was in the late 70s, right? So these girls and how they look on the pictures and the laser gun, the alleged laser gun, they fit the zeitgeist. The look of all this fits the zeitgeist of this time period.
The
It's
time period, yeah,
it's
exactly.
70s shit. It is
Yeah,
70s shit. The clothes, the hair,
yeah, you're right.
and
You're right.
the laser gun. It's 70s. It's 70s stuff. It fits the zeitgeist of the 70s. So
That's a great point. That's a
this
great
is why
point.
it's so hard for me to wrap my mind around it being true, it being the real deal. So, and I'm not trying to kick anyone in the balls here, but this is my personal opinion. So I'm not judging, but to me, it's 70s stuff, like I said, and it was the 70s. And if there were real space girls and they are uh, a million years ahead of us, I don't know what the claim is, but far ahead of us, they would, I'm sure they would have looked different. And also
Sure.
the gun. And why would they have a gun anyways if they are thousands, maybe million years ahead of us? Why would they use a gun? Why would they still have a laser gun? And this laser gun, it looked a little bit primitive
Exactly.
for being advanced technology. It looked a little bit primitive. An advanced,
Yes. It looked like a toy gun too. It looked like it's
not-
plastic.
yeah, and a gun from in a million years or in 500,000 years, I don't know. Uh, if there were still guns, I I I think they look different. So these are my problems that I have with some aspects of the Billy Meier case. I mean, talking about the spiritual message and all that stuff, we've talked about it with Michael Horn, and we talked about it with Christian Freiner. This spiritual message and all the books and the contact reports, that stuff is pretty cool, man. It's not too bad. It's
No, it's not.
interesting,
It's interesting. It
yeah,
is.
and
I,
it gives you things to think about, to wrap your mind around, and to maybe, of course, maybe if you are if you dig it, you can, yeah, try to live it. You can try to
sure.
yeah. It's
Sure. That's why I like to figure out more of the older stuff with Billy. That's because I feel it's more genuine.
yeah.
Stuff the newer stuff is just kind of harder to go through, and there's just so much backpedaling, and we could talk more about that backpedaling later. But yeah, yeah, it's just the older photographs, the older information, it's got more genuine stuff, in my opinion. And I actually talked with Paula Harris, and she actually believes the same thing. She thinks there was actual contact in the beginning, and it frizzled out, and he was just trying to keep the attention going. And I don't blame him. Okay, so yeah, it's just the weird world that we live in. And again, these aliens are they had their own agendas, and they could just be like, who knows? These people could just be like teenage. That's what I think, like these ET teenagers that come to a planet. Let's go fuck with somebody today. Let's make this guy special, or he's gonna turn into a fucking cult leader. You know what I'm saying? Like this for their own shits and gigs, because they can. Because I would. If hop me on a spaceship and I got somewhere where I got like a godlike status somewhere, trust me, I'd be gonna fuck somebody up today.
but, but then again, like I said, that sounds it's I mean it sounds funny and shit, but and I remember a Star Trek episode that was kind of similar to what you just said. I don't remember which episode it was, but yeah, I don't know.
Hmm.
But it sounds too primitive to be true
Yeah.
to me because, like I said, an advanced species coming from I don't know where, or thousands and thousands and thousands of years ahead. They're not fucking around with you like that, and I think they would have also have a more advanced agenda than making
N-
making.
Unless they had an opinion about you when they first got here, like, well, these guys are killing each other and they hate each other and they kind of separate each other with these gigantic walls around the world. It's like,
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know. I mean, like, it doesn't take much to not like us. I don't know. Just you would hope they would like us, or they want to help us, or maybe they again. There's the theory that they've been here since the dawn of time. They're walking amongst us. I think there's like a Harvard study that just kind of like came up with like, yeah, I think the hardcore evidence is pointing us that they're just walking right next to us. Like that's why I heard like another whistleblower is like, you should like in your own head when you're like behind somebody saying, I know you're an alien, I know you're an alien. If you turn around super fast, like and they look at you, you're like, got you, motherfucker.
I
uh
think it's interesting that these space people he's talking and writing about, they look just like us,
yeah. Hmm.
or we look just like them. I don't know. So
Yeah,
that gives you something to think about the origin. From,
exactly.
where is the origin? Are we originate from them, or they originate from us? Uh, Why do they look just like us, anyways? And
Yeah.
there are other reports when it comes to contact. Talking about the Nordics,
Hmm.
their long blonde hair and the pale skin, but they
Yeah,
look just like us.
just like
So,
us.
what's the origin? Who originates from whom? And where do we come from? Do we even come from here, or did they come from here, or what? That's a crazy thought because it's not just his story talking about humanoid aliens. They look just like us, like exactly like us. So
Hmm.
there are many reports, many contact reports talking about aliens. They do look just like us, and that's
Yeah.
very interesting to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Just the difference is they have telepathy and maybe other special powers, or even like they can summon a UFO to just get zapped up right from their backyard. You ever seen that one video that went viral of like this guy who's leaving this girl's house on their Ring camera, and he just like goes up and walks, he stops, and he just like flies up into the air like a like he got like shot, like a beam sucked him up or something like that. You ever
No,
seen this?
no. Sounds like
I'm at the
sounds like another AI video or something like that. So,
who knows, but again, it's very eerie.
did the video say he flew away like intentionally, or was he sucked up by something?
It looked like he got sucked up. But he like stopped knowing that he was gonna get picked up or something like that, you know?
Oh, so he never came back or what?
Not in the video, no.
Not in the video. Yeah.
He
So
might have, yeah. I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, the fact that if they walk amongst us and that like they just walk around and if it's clear and no one's looking, it's going
yeah,
get shot up into the sky.
maybe they walk amongst us. If they in fact look just like us, they could walk amongst us. And so it's interesting because it's everything. It's the face, it's the skin, it's the hair, and they you couldn't tell who is
Yeah,
who if you would stand side to side to alien just like that. It's not only arms and legs, of course. On other planets in space, if life evolved similar to ours, there's a head, maybe there's arms and legs and fingers and stuff. But they could look totally different though. So, but these reports talking about guys, they look just like us, like I said, and that's interesting. Do you think? Because I know a book author here in Germany that has the theory that there were humans on Mars
Hmm.
many, many years ago.
Yes.
Do
Yes.
you like the idea that people lived on Mars once? Humans?
Yeah. I like that theory because there's ancient stories of that theory too. I think the ancient Samaritans talk about the Anunnaki were using Mars as like a stepping stone base right before they got to Earth. So they had bases there. So and then these Anunnaki are like human like too, they're just giants in our eyes. Yeah, and there's even the whistleblowers today. They claim there's secret space programs from the 70s. They're sending people to Mars, even way back then, getting people prepared for the people who are going to be living on Mars there. And then, it's such a rabbit hole when it comes to Mars.
And
Because there's,
now we found water on Mars.
yeah, yeah. And then there's monoliths too on
Yeah.
Mars and on the moons. I guess it's got two moons, right? And they have like a weird orbit around Mars.
Yeah.
It's like Phobos or
Phobos
Phobos.
and Deimos.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, they have like these. I think there's like I don't know, like a 10-mile high tower on one or something like that.
Makes you
Oh
think
man.
if it's artificial, right?
Yes.
Besides some other strange things that they found on Mars, like the Mars door, which they claim is just, I think, 30 centimeters. I don't know in inches, but it's not 30 centimeters. It's something like that. And
Right.
they say it's just 30 centimeters. Looking at it, I don't know, man. I don't know if they're telling the truth when it comes to the fucking Mars door, because I like the fucking Mars door. I like it, and I, I, I would love it to be, love it being something else, being maybe not being an entrance into that mountain, but
Hmm.
it being artificial. That would be
Hmm.
great. Finding out
Yes.
it being artificial, even if it was just 30 centimeters, that would be cool too if it was artificial. And it
Right.
looks very artificial to me. Looks man-made to me. It doesn't look natural to me. But like I said, on the other hand, who am I? I don't know. I don't know about stuff like that. I don't know how this rock breaks and maybe yeah, I don't know. Could be.
And I was thinking too, like what stems even further back that got life, even like ancient astronauts onto Mars was that what is the asteroid belt today that used to be a planet that blew up because of warfare. Was it Tiamat or some shit it was called? Where it's
Yeah.
kind of like an Earth-like planet at one time. Yeah, so that's an interesting story, like the surviving ETs went to go to Mars and jump to Earth, Uh, it's just these crazy ass stories. Makes you wonder.
Have have we talked about the Inca city on Mars already? The so-called Inca city on Mars. I didn't call it that. Scientists called it that
Oh,
because it looks like the yeah,
just outline of the
like the
structure.
outlines of an old Inca city. It looks.
Sure,
Let me
sure.
share the screen here and for people so
And I
people.
heard I heard Venus also has some interesting features on it.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
So can you see it already?
Mm-mm. Oh, there he goes. Yep.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's the
Wow.
that's a picture of the so-called Inca city on Mars. Isn't it great? It looks
That's amazing.
yeah, it looks just like the outlines of an old, ancient city. Could be an Inca city. And if you look at the very top
Right.
of this picture, right where my mouse cursor is here, it yeah, it goes on and on.
Wow.
So yeah,
Again, there's like right angles don't wow, look at that. Right angles don't happen in nature. So again, like that looks very engineered and purpose.
yeah.
Look at that.
Look at
Wow.
it's great, right?
That's beautiful.
That's great.
Yeah, if you like ask anybody who builds buildings, it's like, look at that. Oh yeah, someone was trying to make something back then. Or it used to be something back then. Yeah, like the
It makes you wonder if
wow.
there really was something. It this is actually, if I remember right, this is in a crater. It
Oh wow.
emerged in the crater. It said some. big fucking big rock crashed on the surface, and it made this fucking big crater, and this emerged. But yeah, I don't know.
Wow. Again, just it's so eerie too. Like, especially when you hear the stories too. Like, yeah, there was once life here. Yeah, there's actually intelligent life here, builders. And like you think they could be pyramid builders, like again, where we have all these pyramids all around the world and in our oceans. And even if you think about the oceans too, man, we don't know shit. We don't know jack shit is what's in there. Oh my God.
Yes,
That's
that's
scary
true.
shit.
Yes, that's true. So
Wow, look at that.
yeah, I have to look at it again. It's
Look at that. It is amazing. It looks like a little big ass city. Little big ass city.
squares. Here's a square,
That is
another square,
huge.
square, a big square. Here's
Yeah.
a small square. That
That one's perfect. That small square, that looks perfect.
yeah. Do you think something like that emerges from the impact of some asteroid or something like that? I don't
No,
know, man.
no, 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 no.
This looks
No,
looks
it looks
artificial.
like a waffle.
Yeah,
Are
it
you kidding me?
looks man-made.
Looks
Looks
like a Belgian waffle. But no, seriously, that there's right angles don't happen in nature. I mean, it's got to be crazy rare to have that happen. But no, like that, there's so many and structured, and it's almost like streets
it's
and
crazy.
walls. Yeah,
And I don't have the numbers here, but it's pretty big too. It's yeah,
yeah, it's got to be huge.
it's huge, yeah. So, but yeah, we went away from Colonel Wendelle Stevens a little
Oh
bit.
yeah,
Before we take a look at a few of the pictures you bought
sure.
from the store locker, um, please fill me in when it comes to the F-117 Nighthawk, or sometimes they say F-17, but there is no F-17 in military records, right? Something like that. Do you What do you
Oh,
know
that's
about the F-17 or F-117 Nighthawk?
yeah, it came out in 91 or 92. It's just one of the first stealth fighters uh that they created. Uh, was just good with the uh you know escaping radar. And again, it just yeah, I don't know too much about it myself. Uh, with what's all about. And I actually had Jim Goodall uh have his opinion on the photographs because he actually worked at Skunkworks. And I was on a podcast at
Oh, Skunkworks.
Spaced Out Radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was pretty interesting. Yeah, again, I don't know much about any of that. But I have 12 photographs of the F-117 stealth fighter with
So you're
a
saying the F-117, it came out in 91, but it emerged on these
yes.
pictures that are from 78 or what? When
Oh
are,
no, no. The photographs that I have from 94.
oh, 94. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please show the few of the
Uh
pictures.
you want me to show those
Yeah,
photos?
yeah. Show these
Okay.
pictures. I'm very excited. I saw majority of it already, but always cool to look at these pictures. They're great. Yeah. And tell us what's the backstory of these. How did you get these pictures and where?
Yeah. So 2 years ago, I caught wind that Colonel Wendelle Stevens storage locker was up for auction. And I got into that auction and I got two boxes that contained 200 photographs of original cases that he worked on. And a lot of the information on the back of the photographs are written in his handwriting. So I thought that was kind of like an extra bonus, to actually have his handwriting and other documents. And some had negatives, but a lot of these photographs that I have are like series of photographs, not just like one. I mean, I do have the single like one or two shots of a UFO, but it'd be like a 12 to 5 series photograph, of a UFO going across the sky, and you see the scenery below, and just you can actually see the movement of the UFO, if the witnesses were taking it, especially like this, this is I have 12 of these. I think I have 9 popped up on here, but again, they're so clean. You can see the slight blur of the F-117 because it's moving so damn fast. But the UFO by itself, it must be just going really slow or just at one.
The
Oh,
angle is interesting. The angle of the UFO is interesting. It's just like it's flying in this kind of angle because the
it's funny
picture.
that you say that.
Yeah,
It's funny that you said that. It's almost kind of it's got its like attention
yeah,
at UFO all the time. It's kind of funny that you said that because during the latest reports with the Tic Tac UFO, this guy who, the first jet guy or the pilot who first went and encountered it,
yeah.
trying to get closer to it. He said when he first getting closer to it, he said that the Tic Tac actually went and like it pointed itself at him, just saw that he's coming. He's like, and kind of kept an eye on him the whole time while it's moving. You know what I'm saying?
So it moved its tip, so to speak, towards him, like just like we see in this picture here. It draws
Exactly.
its its
So I thought
attention. Yeah.
that's a great, especially when hearing that and seeing these photographs. And then this UFO could have came out of the water because this is over Pensacola, Florida.
Oh yeah, right.
So it makes it even more special, that like relatable to the Tic Tac, the thing that's coming out of the water and having this kind of same reaction of keeping its nose towards, just in case, not knowing if this F-117 is going to take a shot at it or not, doing swoops at it. But
You know what? What I think every time I see this UFO shape, this particular UFO, it's the classical stereotypical UFO, right?
yeah,
Every time I see this shape, I always wonder, is this the perfect shape to travel to interstellar space and visit other planets? Is this a good shape to move underwater or through the skies? I'm not sure, man, but it's yeah, interesting to try to wrap your mind around.
you're right. Like even like I think you mentioned this too. Like it seems like the UFOs kind of fit the time period.
Mhm.
We had like the cigar shaped ones in the beginning, and then turned into disc, and then we have like now we have like the jellyfish looking ones.
But why is that?
Um,
Why does
yeah,
why does UFOs also try to fit the zeitgeist? The 70s UFOs look just like 70s technology, 90s, 2000s. Then we had these triangle shaped ones, we had the tic tac ones, we had orbs, a lot of orbs or light balls. They also somewhat fitted the zeitgeist, and that's strange. And that's the reason why people try to understand if there's a connection with our consciousness.
yes,
But because if if you told an engineer in the 70s to engineer a UFO, it would have looked like this probably, right?
it would. This is another series of photographs that I have. It doesn't have any information where they were taken. Just the know that it was taken in '94 by the date on the bottom of the corner there. But yeah, it's again with the UFO with a jet plane. It's a fighter plane. I don't
Why is it
I don't
always with a plane?
I don't know. I think it's best when it is with the plane. I think it gives it more
Yeah.
like genuine.
For comparison, but do you think there was some kind of um partnership? Maybe it made some did it was maybe it was a military technology, something like that, and they worked together, or
Sure.
the plane um followed the UFO for its safety or in case something happens, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It could be reverse engineering. Because I've seen other videos with planes with UFOs. It's kind of like they were doing maneuvers together, at a flight pattern.
Do we
Um,
know more about these pictures we saw before and this picture? So
these are all the same series of photographs.
we don't know about how they maneuvered and how they acted.
No.
No. But it's isn't it odd that some guy stood there and took a picture
Yeah,
right
right.
in
He's
that
standing in the
moment?
woods.
So
Yeah, right.
one would think it was on purpose, right? He was there
Yeah.
for a reason, and he knew they would
Or
come.
yeah, he could have been a military guy himself.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, you're right. Or just because it seems like it's like in the jungle almost, like maybe South America. I
I
have
don't
no
think
idea.
so. No, that looking at the trees, I wouldn't say it's South America, but I could be wrong. What do we have here?
This is this is the I think this is oh here we go. This is these photographs are from Mark Coltrane, uh, Wisconsin, Colfax, Wisconsin.
Oh,
This is the
nothing
one.
much to see here. I would love to sharpen this one with the AI or something like that.
Yeah, you can kind of see the sun kind of blaring off it. Again, this is the one where he was sitting in his car listening to the radio and
Yeah.
he like saw it zigzagging. Again, he it was very hard to catch. So it's like you only catch like little blips of it. But this story is interesting. And there's Colonel Wendelle Stevens handwriting in the back. Mark Coltrane.
So this was written by Wendell Stevens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the written stuff that you see is all Wendell's handwriting. And this is a case out in um, Australia. Eric Thompson. Um,
But this
yeah,
is
so
a picture he got from someone. It was not taken by Wendell Stevens, right?
no, this is not taken by him, by Wendell. No, this is again, all these are photographs that Wendell collected, and I got from the story
This
about
one
like,
looks fake as hell, man.
yeah, makes you wonder. The guy claims that this thing came out of the water,
Huh.
and a smaller disc from the sky came up and met up with it.
You would think there would be water dripping from it.
Yeah, well, he said he did get sprayed with water when it was coming over his head.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, you think you see more on camera. I got more photographs here, right over his head,
Oh, a friendly UFO
right?
smiling. Oh yeah. So that's a better picture. What's hanging down below?
I don't know. That's the disc that came from the sky that met up to go into like the bottom of it. Like it met into it. Again, it kind of makes you like how the Billy Meier photographs. Some of the ones are like UFOs with smaller UFOs that are just kind of like the drones that kind of like do other work and maybe do like investigating before. Like we probably would send down like robots before we go down.
Yeah.
You know, for make sure it's safe. That's what same thing with them. They have the same dealy. But yeah, it does makes you think. It could look fake. I don't know. I,
But on the other
this
hand,
is
how it looks a little bit fake, but doesn't mean anything. Who are we to judge? But how would you fake? How would you fake that?
yeah, and I have the negatives too.
Oh yeah, no strings attached. No strings attached. Oh man, it's also friendly, smiley, smiley face UFO. Man, it's interesting. I mean, it's interesting that these are no digital photos. They're actual. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
and these are two housewives who are taking a walk in Mexico, and this thing just came flying up to them, and this woman's like pointing it. And I only have the one photograph. I guess there's a series of this thing coming in closer and closer to them. But this is kind of like where it got super close.
so is this where the story ends, or do we have an this...
I don't know much of the story. Again, the guy who owned these photographs is now dead, Mr. Wendell. But yeah, just again, some of them have backstories and what I've like researched. That's what I know, but some of them you just don't know. And I don't think Wendell even knew some of these ones he probably traded with too. Like again, he was a huge trader, like photo trader. He traded photos. But yeah, again, there's like series of photographs, and these were taken in Tennessee, I believe. Yeah, Nashville in 1989. And this was taken by an anonymous person. I think they wanted to keep their names safe.
Man, that looks spectacular.
Yeah.
It looks like straight from a alien movie or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, damn. So is there a backstory on these photos? Do we know anything?
There isn't much. No. Again,
Yeah.
they're taken by an anonymous person. I think that's what the ANON means.
Yeah, but you
Anonymous.
would think he maybe he bought these pictures or he got them as a present, but where he got them from, story came along. So
Yeah.
no.
Well, I know a little story. I think Joe Clower, his name is. I think his name is written down. He's a contactee that never really had physical contact with ETs, but just had UFOs show up everywhere he went for like work and shit.
Yeah.
Like they kind of like stalked him. He actually got really paranoid, like a little schizo after like these aliens just kept them just showing up. Yeah, Joe Clower.
Denver, Colorado. Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Man, interesting. Oh, also
Yeah,
interesting.
it's just beautiful
Wow.
and interesting, right? That was taken in
Puerto Rico,
Puerto Rico,
Guyana.
95.
Man, it's interesting. So
So you like
South,
see
South,
photos from behind, like
yeah,
it's crazy. And I think this is from Germany, from back here. You see some from Germany, some of those German houses.
that's from Germany.
I think so.
Oh,
And yeah, again, these really interesting shape. Again, they're just such a variety of shapes. Even like the ones you see behind us of Paul Villa.
hmm.
This is taken in Poland. Yeah.
Again, that shape.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And these are not all what I have. This is just kind of like I thought I'd just get some together just to show. Um, and this is Joe Clower again. Again, just being like this is outside his house is walking, and then these fucking UFOs show up, and just he's like, okay, I need to go back inside now.
So it's just like I said before, it's interesting that these are analog photos. It's not digital photos that you
Yeah,
can easily fake. And I'm not
and
saying it was impossible to fake these old pictures. You could, but the only way to fake things on these pictures would be if you let them things hang from a string or throw it in the air, right? So
yes,
it's
and,
hard to
and plus, and Kodak watermarks too, man. You can't. It's hard to you can't copy that. It's hard to get that paper
yeah.
for any Joe Schmo, especially for the time period too. You see it's different too. Um,
I mean, it's hard to manipulate the actual photo. So you would have to
right.
do it, yeah, by throwing it in the air or let it hang from a string, like I said.
Yeah, even like 92, and especially with the numbers too. It came. You
Yes.
can't. To make it more authentic. And yeah, I thought this was interesting.
Oh, what's that?
This glowing UFO. There's a
Oh,
series, two of them.
I heard of that. Some kind of light.
Almost like
Yeah, light
almost
bulb.
kind of looks like a comet,
Yes.
but it wasn't.
So what do we
It's
know
like
about this thing? Do we know how it moved or
I'm guessing just zigzagged around. This guy, his name was Woody something
Woody Atkins?
Atkins, 1971, South Carolina. And this is Joe Clower again.
Man, he took a lot of pictures, this guy, Joe.
Yeah, again, he didn't meet any ETs, but he was haunted by these flying saucers that was like show up every time you walk out the door. I think he became an incluse. Said fuck that.
I've talked about it in the German podcast a lot that some people experience so many things throughout their lives. And on the other hand, there's people experiencing nothing,
Nothing. Yeah.
nothing. They don't see a UFO. They don't uh, see a ghost or have paranormal encounter, something like that. They experience nothing. So, and like I said, other people see something every other day. That's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah. Well, it makes you wonder if they were chosen in the first place, kind of like other contactees and other people we have interviewed. I think the other guy, Michael,
Yes.
from the UK, who had a pretty traumatic experience, enough for it's affected his life pretty. I mean, you talk to the guy, he looks like he went through war. You know what I'm saying? That guy's got
Yes.
some PTSD going on.
Before we come
Um,
to an end here, let me show
yeah,
you my latest footage. I'm not sure. I don't think I shown it to you already. Let me share it with you. It was because it was very
please.
interesting. Yes. Um, yeah. What you see here is the sky filmed from my
Hmm.
backyard. It's my neighbor's old house here. And what I've seen, or what I've seen afterwards in the edit, I haven't seen it while I was filming it. I was filming the sky randomly, like we do sometimes, you know that,
Yep,
you
yep,
know, too.
yep.
And
Hmm.
it emerges from here and goes down to this other cloud. So you have to watch closely. I've slowed it down and yeah, you will see. You don't need the audio. So now look here. You see?
Wow.
Have you seen it? Here it comes.
Again.
And it comes, yeah.
And
And
it kind of like right at the end, it kind of curves. Like it looks like it's falling and then it kind of has a direction to go, you know?
yes, here it comes again.
Wow. You think it's like an orb, or do you think it's like
I
an
have no
actual
idea, man.
vehicle thing? It's almost got like a shine to it if it's the sun bouncing off of it.
I have no idea if
What the
maybe
fuck is that?
it's I was thinking maybe a plane dropped something or so, but there is no plane. You can see for yourself there is no plane
Huh.
flying by,
And
dropping
it comes out of
something.
the clouds too, right? Does it doesn't come from like because you still see the top of the screen, there's still some light or clear. Yeah, dude, what the fuck? And then like right at the end before you don't see it, it starts to curve to the
Yes.
left.
Yes.
Wow.
There's some kind of left turn, then it disappears in the cloud.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I don't know what this could be.
that's interesting.
It's maybe is it a bird or I have no idea, man. I have no idea. Um, yeah, you've seen my other the other picture that I took, but maybe the audience is interested in it. Um, the other picture that I took is you could say it's some kind of maybe triangle shaped object.
Yes, yes. I love it. This one's great too. 'Cause it's so solid. It's like no mistaking what the fuck that might be.
I don't know. Doesn't look like a
Right?
bird. Doesn't look like a
No,
plane. I don't
doesn't
know
it?
what it is, man. I have no idea. Is this guys who are watching? This is taken from a video I took from the sky, and I saw something flying by very, very fast in the video, and I slowed it down. I took a screenshot, and this is what I got.
That's amazing.
The screen.
Especially how solid black that is. It's not like it was like translucent. You know what I'm saying? That is pretty solid, bro. Look at that fucking thing.
And
And I sent you my video too if you want to put that up, the one I took
yeah,
in May 21st where we had a big thunderstorm and I sent this to you on Messenger. Where it was a big storm and I just wanted to catch some lightning on my slow motion camera on my iPhone. And I just pointed to the sky for 20 seconds, caught some lightning. I was like, yes, ran back inside. And I look, there's a fucking flying saucer flying from the bottom corner to the upper corner. And there was a single leaf that got blown off a branch that like almost intersects with this UFO, but it kind of gives you like reference and size. It's like it's too perfect. It's just like you couldn't ask for more. Uh,
Yes.
but yeah, it's very intriguing.
I think we've watched it already, but we will watch it again, of course, because I remember it being a very awesome video. And I showed
Yeah.
it to some of my German friends, and they said, "Oh,
Oh, cool.
they also
You like
see it.
that?
It's awesome." And but the backstory of the picture that I showed you before,
Yeah, yeah.
of the alleged triangle-shaped whatever it was, maybe it is a bird, maybe it is a plane. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe guys, if you have an idea, uh, type a comment. Well, the backstory is people out there, they know that I saw with two of my friends, I saw a UFO when I was only 16 years old. I'm turning 44 this year. And in 1996, I saw a triangle-shaped UFO with a light in the middle and rounded corners. So that was 1996. This picture I showed you before, I took last year, same time as of
Mm. Whoa.
last year, same time. And interesting is that the UFO we saw when we were just 16 years old in 1996, I took this picture that I showed you before, maybe 500 meters from the place that we saw the triangle-shaped UFO
Oh
in
shit.
1996.
That's
Just,
interesting.
just a few meters apart. Just like 500, even at best, 500.
That's weird, dude.
That is weird.
That is weird.
That is weird. That's
Yeah.
very weird. So I don't know if it's coincidence or I don't know if it even is a triangle-shaped UFO, but it looks like some kind of triangle-shaped object. Yeah, would be very strange if it was the same thing that we saw in 1996 because it was the same place and everything, same time of the year. Um, but back then it was in the middle of the night, and this one was around 5 p.m., something
Hmm.
like.
Man.
So, yeah, strange. If it is a
Yeah.
coincidence, it's a strange coincidence. Very strange.
Yeah.
But let's have a look at your video. Share the
Yeah.
screen.
Sure.
Yeah, I remember it being very interesting.
So a leaf will fall from the right hand corner of the screen,
Oh, wait,
and the UFO will come from the bottom right. And they almost intersect with each other.
wait. Yeah,
Yeah.
something went wrong here. Mm, yeah, okay. Here we go. There's the leaf coming on the right side of the screen.
And there comes the
There it
UFO.
is.
Boom. And I love
There's
about the UFO,
the
if you zoom
lightning
up
and
in it,
everything
yeah.
fits. It's perfect, like it
Like
choreography or something like that.
it was like the UFOs were sitting there waiting for me to pull out the camera.
There's the leaf. There's the object.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I love about it, if you zoom up on it and it on the UFO, it casts a shadow against the
Yeah.
clouds. That's the most impressive part about it. I was like, oh, that is the shit. And it doesn't change shape. And it's so smooth, especially being filmed in slow motion. And I love how the leaf, you can see how slow and flippy floppy it is. Again, great reference for size and speed. I was like, what? Ah, it's so fucking funny.
I like how it's just like a choreography. At first
It
the leaf,
is.
then the
Uh,
object, and then the
yeah,
lightning. It fits.
yeah,
It's
yeah. This little splash of lightning at the end. Yeah. And I've been told that UFOs use lightning storms for cover or even charge their ships with lightning and shit like that.
and have you seen the thing in the left lower corner?
When I filmed? No.
You see that?
On the lower left. Oh yeah. What is that?
I know.
That's interesting and super far away. I never noticed that, Daniel. Weird.
Yeah, it
Hey,
is
did I
big.
catch two UFOs?
I don't
Shit.
know what it is, but
Whoa.
I mean,
Yeah,
could be
so far
everything
away, dude.
is far away. It could be everything, but and it goes
Wow.
up again. You see that? Look at it. There it goes down,
Down.
disappears, and then it comes back now and
Oh,
goes.
it does. And it shots.
Yeah,
Daniel, I now have to go investigate that a little more. That is insane. What the fuck?
yeah. Interesting.
Good eye, dude. Wow. What? And you're right. It just shoots right up.
Yeah,
Whoa.
there you go. It's so
Wow.
interesting by
That's
just
interesting.
filming the sky for a few seconds. Shout out to this
Is it
guy who,
Nate? I believe his name
yeah,
is.
Nate Sullivan. Shout out to Nate Sullivan and his project Invisible Highway.
Yeah.
We have talked to him before, and he told us about this little, very easy practice. We just go outside, film the sky for 30 seconds,
In
watch the
slow motion
video in
mode.
slow-mo, look at every detail, and you will find something, he said. And man, we did. You just looked at two, a
Three
photo of
videos.
mine and a video of mine and a video of Dustin, and we've catched something, whatever it was. Maybe it was a bird, a plane, or I don't know, but it's very strange. What we catch there was very strange and makes you wonder how much is going on up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But nobody's looking into the sky anymore.
No.
And a lot of people we know, they say, I'm looking into the sky and this and that. Yeah, but it's people who are into UFOs and all these phenomena. But I know a lot of people, work colleagues, friends. If I ask them, they say, I don't look into the sky. Why would I look into the sky? There's nothing up there. I said, don't you like uh the the star-filled sky and at night when it's clear and there's no clouds and stuff? Yeah, it looks nice, but yeah, nothing special to them. That's strange to me.
That's strange.
Yeah, it is strange to me to hear it. But to each his own. Not everybody's not everybody's the same, and I love watching the sky, observing the
I do
sky.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
last night I went out with one of my radios, listened to some medium wave and
Hmm.
short wave, and yeah, watched the sky. It was great. It was awesome, and you see
You know,
moving,
Daniel,
and you see this and that.
I think one of these days you're gonna catch like an alien signal on one of your radios when you're just walking around on Germany in the trails, like
Yeah,
there wasn't
it,
there's a like movie Contact. Isn't that all about like getting radio signals from aliens and stuff like that?
I guess so. Yeah, and yeah, maybe I catch a radio signal from aliens. We said says we come in peace, not
Yeah.
coming for you. I don't know. Yeah, that was very interesting. Thank you for sharing your
Yeah.
pictures with us. And you
Yeah,
have
it's perfect.
many more pictures, right? It was
Oh, shit, a ton more. Yeah.
central. I think you own 200 plus pictures, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Hmm.
man. Did someone actually see all of them already? Did you show all of them already to someone?
Uh, on a podcast or just I've been well now like once a month. Me and other local podcasters that are in the same subject have been getting together and networking, and we've been showcasing Colonel Wendelle Stevens photographs at these gatherings. So we have people come that are interested in the subject or they want to learn more or just want to get to see actual photographs with their own two eyes instead of like always seeing them on the internet. It's just like it's not the same when you actually can almost like touch them. You know what I'm saying? Just get as close as you can to actual authentic UFO photographs that came from an authentic researcher. So yeah, it's been really fun. I've been meeting so many people that are interested in the subject, meeting new people, making a name for myself. Again, I've been going out downtown and being recognized for my podcast. That's like it always brings me back to my music. Someone's recognizing me for my music. Now it's for my podcast. So this is great. It's been just fun and loving every minute of it. So
Yeah, I guess so. Are there any pictures that you own that you take taken care of very did they have more attention than others that
oh
you
yeah.
never give out or give to someone?
Oh, I guess the F-117
Yeah,
photographs are the most important ones right now.
precious ones.
The
Yeah,
precious,
my
my
precious.
precious, my precious.
Yeah. So you don't bring them along when you go to gathering.
Yeah, actually, I do bring them with me. I just I when I do bring my photographs, I'm like I'm there. They're like connected to my side. Like I'm not. I don't leave. They come with me everywhere I go. They're like chained to my side. Yeah, because they're just too valuable just to be fucked around with. But no, I don't really have too many people like physically touch them. I just I'm there kind of flipping through the photographs, and everybody's very respectful of my stuff and because they know how precious this stuff is and the fact that I'm these keeping these stories alive. I think Paula Harris actually kind of like kind of pat me on the back saying it's good work that I'm keeping Wendell's stories alive and the pictures relevant and just yeah, it's just these things need to be talked about and need to be seen and yeah, they just can't just be sitting in my drawer at my house and just not be talked about. That can't just happen. That can't happen. So I'm happy that I met you doing this podcast and doing other podcasts with other people and doing on their show relating to Colonel Wendelle Stevens photographs. So yeah, it's fun being the custodian.